Hi, Vanessa here. In this video, I will be demonstrating how to work the crocodile stitch. Now this is a sort of intimidating stitch. When I first started crocheting, I didn't even want to touch it. It was really intimidating. When I did actually get the chance to work this stitch, I felt like it was really easy once you got the hang of it. Of where to put your stitches. Okay, so I did wet block this, and I will show you how I do that at the end of the video as well. It's optional, you don't have to block it, but it'll stop the little scales from curling. Okay, so let's talk about the materials that I'll be using for this tutorial. This is Lion Brand's Jeans Colors, and it's in Bermuda shorts. And I'm going to use, this is Tulip. It is size I, 5.5, and that's what the yarn recommends. Okay, so if you're blocking, you're going to need something to block it on, and you'll need some pins or blockers. I can't find my blockers, but just to hold the piece down, and you'll need a bottle with some water. Okay, this is just plain water. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so starting with a slip knot, you are going to chain in multiples of 6 plus 3. So I'm going to chain 24 plus 3. That's going to be 27. Okay, so you want to start with 1 double crochet into the 3rd chain from the hook. Okay, so this loop doesn't count as a stitch. There's your first stitch right there. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. So yarn over into the 3rd stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, okay, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Okay, so that's going to be your first set of double crochet stitches. You're going to chain 2, skip 2, okay, and then 2 double crochets into that 3rd stitch. Okay, here's 1 and 2. Okay, so that's the repeat. Chain 2, skip 2, and 2 double crochets into the next. Okay, so here's chain 1 and 2. Okay, skip 2 and 2 double crochets into the next stitch. 1 and 2. Chain 2, skip 2, 2 double crochets into the next. Okay, go ahead and repeat all the way across. Okay, 2 and 2 double crochets in the last stitch. Okay, so this is your foundation row. So the turning chain on this side counts as a double crochet stitch. So there's 2 double crochets there and 2 double crochets at the end to balance out your row. Okay, so this is where the fun begins. Okay, so for row 1, instead of flipping your work around, you're just going to, you're not going to turn, you're just going to work in this direction, okay? So you're going to start with a chain 3, which counts as 1 double crochet, and then you want to work 4 more double crochet stitches around the post, the double crochet stitch here, for a total of 5, including the chain 3, okay? So work your 4 double crochet stitches. Okay, so I'm working right around the post. Okay, that's 1, and this is my 2nd. So you want to work 4 double crochets into the post. Okay, so right there I have my chain 3. and my 4 double crochet stitches. Okay, I'm going to chain 1. So after I chain 1, I'm going to work the same amount of double crochet stitches on the opposite other post now in the other direction. And we have 5 here, so we're going to work 5 here. So turn, and if you fold your work or whatever is the most comfortable for you to hold in order to work around the post. Okay, here's the double crochet post. So you want to work a total of 5 double crochet stitches right around this post. Okay, that's 3. And you can slide it over if you need some space. And this is the 5th double crochet. Okay. So now we're going to work in this direction back. Okay. Okay, so our next scale is going to be on this one here. So we're skipping the next set of double crochets and then working in this one. Okay, and then we'll skip this one and work in this one and so forth. Okay, so you want to chain 1. And then again, just like you started this one, you want to turn your work this way, skip this set, and work on the top. I'm saying top because if you have it facing this way, it's the top double crochet stitch. So the left double crochet stitch. Remember, we're working from the left to the right. So 5 double crochet stitches right over the post, around the post, sorry. 3, 4, okay, and 5. All right, so now we're ready to chain 1 and turn so that we are working on the other post now in the other direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so there's our second one. Again, we're going to skip the next set and work into the next double crochet set. Okay, so I'll show you this one more time and then I will work off camera. Okay, so let me show you how to work the scale one more time. Chain 1. Okay, once you're here, you want to turn this direction. Okay, always work on the left or top double crochet first. Okay, so skipping this set, working directly into this set, we're going to work 5 double crochet stitches around the double crochet post. Okay, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So now we're going to rotate, chain 1, and on the other side, the other double crochet of the 2, you're going to work another 5 double crochet stitches. So there's 1, okay, around the post again, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, there is the third one. Okay, so now you just repeat that all the way to this side. So once you complete a scale, you skip the next set and you want to work in this set. So you'll turn and then work on the top or left double crochet first, chain 1, 5 double crochet, chain 1, and then turn it 180 degrees, so the other side, to work on the other double crochet post and work your 5 double crochet stitches, and this will be your last scale at the very end here. Remember, this turning chain counts as a double crochet stitch, so you'll work your scale around these two. Okay, so I'm working the last set. Okay, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 1. Okay, so this here is considered a double crochet stitch. That was our turning chain. Work your last 5 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so for row 2, we are going to work a row that will also set up stitches for more scales. Okay, just like we did in the foundation, we're just going to work sets of double crochet stitches across. Okay, so we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and this counts as your first double crochet stitch into this space here. So right in the middle of the scale, you're going to work 1 double crochet stitch. Okay, we're going to chain 2, and then into the skipped double crochet stitch back here. Okay, I'm just going to lift the scales up. This was the set that we skipped, so you're going to work in between those 2 double crochet stitches. You're going to work 2 double crochets, and you want to catch this piece here, the scale, so it sort of holds it all together. Okay, so working into the stitch back here, the skipped stitch, we're going to also catch the scale stitches in the front and work 2 double crochet stitches. Okay. Okay, chain 2, and then right in the middle of the next scale you want to work 2 double crochet stitches. So every other round is pretty straightforward. Chain 2, and then we're back here at the skipped double crochet stitches. Remember to work in between the 2 double crochet stitches, and you're going to hold the scale stitch in the front so that you can catch it and work them together. Okay, into the space right there between the 2 double crochets and catch the scale stitches. Work 2 double crochet stitches, chain 2, and then in the middle of the next scale 2 double crochet stitches. Okay, so go ahead and repeat all the way across. Chain 2 into the skipped set of double crochets. Make sure you catch the scale stitches, the front stitches, so 2 double crochet. Okay, I'm at the end here, chain 2, and then you're going to work your last set right into the middle of the edge scale here, the scale on the edge. Okay, so that is your row 2. Okay, so for row 3, we are going to start the scale stitches again. Okay, so we're going to work sort of around the double crochet post, and we're going to stagger the scales so that they're in between the previous scales. So we're not going to start with this set, which is right on top of this scale. We're going to start our scale on this set. So we'll work this set, skip this one, and then work that one, and then so forth all the way to the end. Okay, so turn, and then you want to chain 1, and we're skipping this first set. We're going straight to the next set. We're going to work 5 double crochets around the post of the top or left double crochet stitch, depending on how you're holding this. Okay, that's 4 and 5. So now we're going to chain 1 and then turn your work all the way to the other side so you can work on the other double crochet stitch. Okay, 5 double crochet around the post. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so there is our first one from this row. Okay, so now we're going to skip this one and then work our next scale into this set. Okay, chain 1, skip this set into the next set, 5 double crochet stitches around the first post, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, chain 1. Okay, turn so that you're working on the post right next to it. 5 double crochets around the post. Okay, so we're ready for the next. Skip this one and work your scale on that one. So I'm going to go ahead and work that all the way across. Chain 1, skip this set onto the next set. We're going to work 5 double crochet stitches around the first post, and then chain 1, turn, and work your 5 double crochet stitches on the other side of this set. Okay, so this is my last set. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 1, turn, and work on around the next double crochet stitch. So the post, okay, so you want to complete this row with a slip stitch to this space here. So this was our chain 3 and 1 double crochet, so there's a space between those two. You want to work a slip stitch into that space. Okay, right there. Insert your hook, pull up your loop, and pull through the loop on your hook. Okay, so now we're going to chain 3, and for row 4 we're going to set up for the scales again. Okay, so we're going to work 1 double crochet right into that same space, so that'll be our first set of double crochet stitches. chain 2, and then into this middle of the scale, into the skipped double crochet post here, into the middle of the scale, and then into the skipped and all the way across. So this is very similar to row 2, except because you're scattering your scales, it's just slightly different in how you start and end. Okay, I worked my chain 2 right into the middle of the next scale. Work your double crochet stitches. Chain 2. Work into the space between the double crochet stitches and make sure you catch the piece in front, which are the scales. Okay, again, exactly like row 2. Chain 2 into the middle of the scale, work 2 double crochet stitches, chain 2. So I'm going to repeat that all the way across. Okay, so here is my last set right there. So when you get here to the end, remember that we skipped this set here on the last row in order to stagger our scales. Okay, we skipped these 2 double crochet stitches. So that's where you want to work your last set on row 4. So chain 2, okay, right into the space of the skipped double crochet stitch. You want to work 2 double crochet stitches. Okay, so we've completed row 4. Now we're ready to work the scales again. Okay, so that is your row 1 through 4 repeat. Okay, so now we're starting over with row 1, which is starting the scale on this set here. I'll go ahead and work this row with you. Chain 3, again, that counts as your double crochet stitch. And then right into this set, we're going to work on this edge one. This is your double crochet, so we're only working 4 double crochet stitches. Okay, 2, 3, and 4. Chain 1. Now we want to turn it in, 180 degrees this way because we're working into the post now on the other side. Okay, there's the post. 5 double crochet stitches. Okay, so remember in row 1 we skipped the next and worked into the next set. So now we're staggering between the last set of scales. Chain 1, skip this one, 5 double crochet stitches into the next post. Chain 1, turn so that you can work around the other double crochet stitch. 5 double crochet stitches, that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Chain 1. Now we're turning again, skipping this set here. Okay, skip this set. You always want to skip the set that's right in the previous scales because you don't want to work your scales on top of the last scales. So into the next, we're going to work 5 double crochet stitches around the post of the next double crochet stitch set. 4 and 5, chain 1. We're going to turn again and work up the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, chain 1, skip this one, work into this one. Okay, so when you get to the end, just make sure you work your last scale stitches on the last set right here. Okay, so there is the repeat of row 1. So you're just going to repeat back and forth from 1 through 4 until you are happy with your size. Okay, so even though you're repeating from rows 1 through 4, you want to end on rows 1 or 3, so which is the scales, because you're not going to be setting up for any more scale rows. Okay, so just make sure you end on a row that you've completed with scales. Even though we're repeating rows 1 through 4, you want to make sure that you end on a scale row. And depending on what project you're using this for, if you wanted to just finish up the top, because this is still sort of unattached. Okay, so there's space right there. Okay, so I would just work 1 row of single crochets and just work it evenly across, holding the where it separates. You want to hold it together so that you can crochet those 2 pieces together. Okay, so this is just how I would do it. Of course, you can leave it as is, or depending on whatever project you're working on. Okay, so I'm just going to chain 1 and then work right into the post of this double crochet stitch, and then right into the center of the scale. And then right here, I'm just going to work 2 where the chain 2 is. So right here, there's a chain 2 and then your double crochet set that you skipped. I'm just going to work 2 single crochets right there, and I'm going to work through the post of the double crochet stitch that's right on the edge, and then right in between the 2 double crochet stitches, 1 single crochet, and then 2 double crochets in the post of this double crochet stitch here. Okay, 1 in the middle of the scale, and then 2 on this post here. Okay, so right in between the double crochet stitch, and then the top of this post here. Okay, and then in the middle of the post, in the middle of the scale, the middle of the next post, and then the top of that double crochet post. Okay, I'm on the last one. Okay, and I'm just going to work 1 right there and 1 last one. All right, so when you're working your single crochet, just make sure that you work 2 on each side of these scales and then one in the middle. And then in between, you want to hold both pieces to work this piece and the back piece, the double crochet here, okay? Okay, so I would block this just because the scales are curly and it just doesn't really look that great. Okay, so I'm just going to pin my work. So what I'm going to do is pin the tips of the scales down. Okay, so now that I've pinned them down, I'm just going to take some water and I'm just going to saturate and spray my piece until it's wet. So I'm just wet blocking this. Okay, and I'm just going to let it air dry. Okay, it's pretty hot outside, so I'm just going to place it outside in the shade. Okay, starting over. Okay, so this is what it looks like after I have blocked it. It looks a little bit better than it did when I completed it. Okay. Okay, now this is going to be the beginning. Okay, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe for future videos.